First call, class 46, crossbred. First call, class 46.
At this time, we're going to excuse some exhibitors from the show ring. Let's give them a round of applause for all their hard work.
Okay, thank you.
So if you're actually looking forward to
Bart, when you come out, sky high. Hey, when you come out, you gotta be high. Go. Go, go. Sky high, let's go. Go, speed up. Grab a gear. Speed up.
last semester,
26. You should be in the holding pen. Class 26. You should be in the holding pen.
Craig.
Well, it's an awfully good class. I'm not so sure. We've had a tougher, tighter top end to work through, and tremendous quality, and man, some unique ones out here as far as the pieces that they represent. Gravitated towards the pair of belted barrows. I think they're the most uniquely built ones that we have amongst this group. Those are the pair of hogs that are also extra comfortable, really effortless just in terms of reach and mobility. And bottom line, when you just step in front of them, you study them coming at us in terms of chest width and blade shape and center rib and spread up high. We like the young ladies bear to the far side, I think, in that regard. Again, I think when they just drive right next to each other, there's just more of him in terms of chest, in terms of blade and body and spread when you get right up on them. Both of those hogs, I'd like to see him a little sharper in terms of back shape, but again, I think that one's spread and the roll to his upper rib cage has the advantage. This one, there's probably not a more uniquely built one that we've seen today in terms of that one's proportions for where he's good. That one is tremendously good. That is a neat skull shape, a real neat neck shape that attaches to the top of his blade. He runs uphill. Love the shape and stoutness of his forearm. I love the hip and hind leg and comfort that he has. He's a short back barrow that goes and is tremendously well presented. I mean, that guy is maxed out just in terms of presentation. He's shaggy. He's attractive. That view as he turns and comes right at us, I just like to open that barrow up right at his sternum, open him up at his blades, and give him just more spread when we get right up on him. But again, tremendously good pair of barrows, and no question, you can study that pair and take him how you like him in this case. The Calico Barrow early on, I think as he came out and I was right up on top of him, he's the one that suits me best in terms of the shape and freshness at his 10th rib. He's an extended barrow that's good in terms of his body. You probably poke the most holes in that guy underneath just in terms of one, that maybe wants to cave in a little more right there at his knee. He's the most refined in his jaw and the most refined in his ankle here of these top 3 that we have. But and no question, that Barrow is tremendously good. And again, I think those top 3 are exceptional in this case. The spotted Barrow that comes out next, real lean, high cut ability, genuine heavyweight Barrow that just gets a little tight in how he goes off of both ends. The Blue Hog below him here is a good-bodied, sound one. To me, the most mature in the shape of his skull and the way that he's shaped about his body, but a really good kind of a Barrow. And then as we finish up with, this young lady's got a fresh one that just needs to be built different up front. Let's put our hands together for these exhibitors. Tremendous class, folks. Thank you.
Last call, class 26. Last call, class 26.
Result out of class 25. In first place, Corey Jenkins from Bayfield, Colorado. In second, Hart Schedule from Claude, Texas. In third, Paige Vieira, Maxwell, California. In fourth, Luke Martin, Bakersfield, California. And in fifth place, Kaylee Lugman from Hanford, California. Callie Lugman.
Class 47, class 37, you make your way to third.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, obviously I've never had
This time we're going to excuse a few of those showmen from the ring. Let's give them a big round of applause for all their hard work.
now it's 15 hours. So it was only probably 2 from most of it. Since you have to go south, she was just kind of
Again, class 27, please make your way to the building, class 27.
Good job, sir.
As we move up to the upper end of weight here in our crossbred Barrow show, I think this is a case where the Barrow we lead off with just looks his weight and fits his weight the best. This is a Barrow that I think is the best in terms of combining soundness and flexibility with the right kind of body shape. He's still got a big fresh back in him. I wish he went away a little thicker in terms of outward shape to his stifle and base width, but again, I think in this case, he's a Barrow that's got plenty in that regard to go ahead and win, and just enough more density and substance to go ahead and lead over the Barrow that ends up here in 2. Real unique one here in 2. This guy is extra elevated and extended and sharp up front. I love the shape and muscle that guy has coming right out of his blade. You study him from there back. Not only is he probably just a little more fragile when you study him in terms of his ankle and his jawline, he's a Barrow that's maybe not perfect behind today in terms of his right hock. I'd like to see him just planting and going with more flex there, but again, a nice Barrow to end up in 2. The spotted hog that ends up in 3rd, no question, just extra bold and stout and muscular at the expense of practicality and soundness. So we just need to extend that Barrow and make him more comfortable as we put him in motion. The black hog coming out next. Front 2/3 good, gets a little short and round in his rump, but fresh, good presented kind of a Barrow that still has some range of motion. As we finish up here with our final 2, another tall-shouldered square top Barrow, just a little too tight and restricted when we put him in motion. The Barrow we close with, a plainer Barrow, but still has some depth and a sound one as well. Let's give all these exhibitors a big round of applause.
Last call, class 27. Last call, class 27.
Results out of class 26. In first place, Blaine Miller from Booker, Texas. In second, Avery Layton, Bend, Oregon. In third, Lucia Abreu from Rutherford, California. In fourth, Whitney Tranum from Colusa, California. And in fifth, Mia Torjani from Bakersfield, California. At the conclusion of class 27, we will select our heavyweight division champion and reserve champion and top 5 crossbreds for the heavyweight division. And then we will roll immediately into our champion cross, reserve cross, and then top 5 for the overall crossbred Barrow show. The grand drive for all species will be right here in this show ring at approximately 3:30. I believe we'll start with the steers and then do lamb and goats and then the Barrows. Again, that'll start at 3:30, starting with the steers.
You just broke it.
That's one thing about except for
Let's give a round of applause for those exhibitors leaving the ring.
good class to wrap up our heavy division. Like this black-headed bear to go ahead and lead off with. I think, again, runs into a case where this becomes the fresh bear in terms of feel and body, and one that's still real big-ended when you get in behind him and watch him go away. I think he's the comfortable, athletic bear that reaches and goes. His joints are clean and flat. Appreciate that bear to go ahead and lead with. Real neat pieces in the shorter back bear here that ends up in second. The young man has that one is real stout and unique in his jaw, big in his forearm, and dense in terms of his skeleton. You read the center part of that guy, he wants to dry up just a bit more in his rear rib and flank. Doesn't read quite as full and fresh right there through the rear part of his rib cage, but really unique one. Runs uphill, just a tremendously good bear there to end up in 2. The bear that ends up here in 3 in front of us, just plainer and shorter there through his front end. I'd like to bring his neck higher out of his blades and loosen him up in his spine, but a neat bolt-bodied one that's got spread and bulk and dimension, particularly for a heavyweight. I think that allows him to move up the line. Go ahead and open up the chutes on down the line here and through the remainder of this class. And lots of good bears. Here's a flexible, soft-centered bear that's got substance, just a little greasy, getting a little plain there about the crest of his neck, but a nice bear. Blue Hog's a genuine muscular one that needs to go better behind, and a real neat, sharp-fronted bear. The young lady brings us here to close. Just a little more refined. I'd like to stouten him up in his foundation and open him up in his rib. Got a good heavy division. Let's put our hands together for these kids. Thank you.
Congratulations to those and results of Class 27. In first, Tanner Vieira, Maxwell, California. In second, Ty Lewis, Modesto, California. In third place, Colby Ramirez, Creston, California. In fourth, Paige Timothy, Woodland, California. And in fifth, Bailey Neal, Veneta, Oklahoma. We will now select your champion through top 5 heavyweight division crossbred bears.
We're going to the game on News. It's in we might go there. There's so much. Yeah. That game, I was nervous the whole time. We just sit there. It was so fun. We did get some deals. I know.
My apologies earlier. I announced the champion drive was starting at the wrong time. It actually starts at 2:30 right here in the Barrow show ring. So the grand drive will start at 2:30. We will start with the steers and then move with the lamb and goats, and then the barrows will be last. 2:30.
My sister-in-law went to the and so my brother came with me. So it was just our family because I was just like, just have this shit talk. Just never come in. And then at the end of it, I was just like, I just went. It's about time we did. Who do I think?
Those top 5 finishers in the light and middleweight division crossbred Barrow show. Please you get your hogs up. You're getting ready. Don't come to the children just quite yet, so please be ready.
And I walked in it, and it was just black, like all the oil. I was so mad.
That was 2020 to fire that.
That was 2020. It was right before all the stuff happened.
That was years superior. It was like showcase.
And my mom was so mad at me. She's like, I didn't go. I'm like, she's fine. She's like, no, I need to go. I'm fine. I'm not taking it. It's going to take
This heavy drive is awfully deep, folks. I think we owe a big round of applause to the exhibitors that we have here. Just a tremendously good show we've had, and the crossbred division's been great. This heavy division has been lights out good, I think, all the way through. And it's no secret, if you probably watch us study, and there's a pair of them down to this far end that we think it kind of boils down to in this decision here. And I think Kane and I both read these hogs the same as far as the differences in them, and maybe prioritize things ever so slightly different, and that's totally fine. I think we're going to have that regardless of where we sit on this pair. But, you know, no question, there's a Barrow that's really an outlier in terms of feature and bone and in build and uniqueness of proportions. There's another one that I think just looks fresh. He looks right. He looks young. I don't know the age of these hogs, and I'll go out on the limb and just say this one looks like a heavyweight that's fresh and big ribbed, rolled up in his back, big ended, and can absolutely go all day. The young man's black-headed Barrow will be our champion heavy.
Congratulations to Tanner Vieira, Maxwell, California, with your champion heavyweight crossbred.
A real unique Barrow comes in second in that class, as well as we all the things that we just talked about. If you watch that final heavy class, again, you take them how you like them. There's a unique creature at this far end that's going to be reserved, and that's this young lady's Barrow. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Corey Jenkins of Bayfield, Colorado, your reserve heavy division crossbred Barrow.
Go ahead and talk third. We had a really good pair of them come out. If you're just stepping up to the ring and you see this one of the real unique Barrows we had a chance to see today. There's not a more unique one in terms of build and proportionality. We like the young man's Barrow over here, third out in the heavies. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Hart Schedule from Claude, Texas, your third overall heavy division crossbred Barrow. Your fourth overall heavy division crossbred is Paige Vieira from Maxwell, California. And your 5th overall heavy division crossbred barrow goes to Amanda Carter from Kennewick, Washington.
All those top 5 from each of the 3 divisions in the crossbred barrow show, please make your way to the showroom. The top 5 in each of the 3 divisions in the crossbred barrow show, please make your way to the showroom.
He's over there. He'll be over here. Then he'll be over there. Then he'll be over there. Probably not. What drive is this?
Here in just a few moments, we will select our champion and reserve champion crossbred barrow. We'll also name a 3rd through 5th overall crossbred barrow. We'll then take a short little break and start the grand drive for all species right here in the hog barn at 2:30.
Love you too.
All right, we're ready to select our champion crossbred barrow. Coming out of Division 1, Tristan Salopek from Las Cruces, New Mexico. Your middleweight division champion, Gavin Straka from Yukon, Oklahoma. And your winner from the heavyweight division, Tanner Vieira from Maxwell, California.
Do you have weights on these barrels of the live feed? You have the live champion. No, I was gone all morning at a meeting. I did not get to see any of this stuff today.
Stay with him, Gab. Stay with him. Stay with him. Good, Gab. Good.
A great show, folks. I think we owe a big round of applause to our exhibitors that we have here, and we've got some work yet to do, but we've had a lot of folks helping back behind the scenes as well and up here. Let's put our hands together for the folks that run this Phoenix show. This is a great crew. They've put a lot of effort into this and made it a lot of fun to get out here and work through the set of crosses. Also want you folks to thank Mr. Kane Austin, if you would here. Put your hands together for Kane. I know he's had a long week and really appreciate the chance to get out here and work with Kane. I really like all three of these barrows a great deal. As we lead off with that lightweight, I mean, that one to me looks like a lightweight. He's attractive and fresh and youthful. He's effortless in terms of his build and his design, perfect in his spine, comfortable, clean in his joints, got the right kind of muscle. Our middleweight that comes across here, we read him as probably the proportions hog, the genuine hog in terms of chest width and blade and skeletal width. Our heavy Barrow, again, comes out of a tremendously deep division in terms of one that's elevated, attractive, fresh in his body, got a killer hip and hind leg, and is absolutely a mother load as he goes away. Wish he maybe came at us just that good right at his knee, but again, a tremendously good Barrow there. We think it boils down to a pair of them. The one that we keep coming back to in terms of just proportionality and squareness, one that everything fits, is the young man's middleweight. Congratulations.
Congratulations to Gavin Straka from Yukon, Oklahoma with your champion crossbred.
As we bring in the reserve middleweight, you know, we don't miss a beat, and probably as well presented and as tuned in as one as we've had all day in terms of skin and hair. There's not a hair out of place on that one, and that one is fresh and dialed in. I really appreciate that about him. I talked to Kane as we just discussed him. I wish he was maybe carved out just a little neater underneath, but I think, again, as we get him back out here, we talk proportionality and genuineness and freshness of the Barrow that we chose for champion. We think that one follows next in line. The young lady's reserve middle will be our reserve cross.
Congratulations to Paige Vieira from Maxwell, California with your reserve champion crossbred Barrow. Your third overall crossbred Barrow belongs to Tanner Vieira of Maxwell, California. And your fourth overall crossbred Barrow belongs to Corey Jenkins of Bayfield, Colorado.
There's two of them.
Hart schedule, we need you in the show ring, please.
Better go get him, Kate.
I have a feeling I know his response.
I ain't going.
Jennifer said we can't wait for
Little. Justin. That's what they want.
And your fifth overall crossbred Barrow belongs to Tristan Salopek from Las Cruces, New Mexico.